Look, denial is not just a river that runs through Egypt. Denial is a river that runs not only through our mind, but through our souls. And any person who's ever been in a relationship, has ever been at a job, has ever been in a club, whatever that may be, you know in your heart of hearts that things are falling apart. Is it ego that keeps you from going, hey, F this, I'm out? Or F this is broken? Or is it something deeper, right? Where we want to fix things. And I think the syndicate knows this has been broke for a minute, but they are trying to glue the leg back on the nutcracker before Christmas at this point. It is tax day, April 15th, the day that I hate more than any day ever in the history of man, even more than Columbus Day for discovering America, I believe. But 10 years ago, Mike, you did not know this, 10 years ago to this date, I beat the federal government. That's the honest to God truth. So it's a good anniversary for me. So it's a good day. But what makes it a great day, the syndicate
I already know it. I already know it.
are no longer tag champions. What a beautiful day on this tax day. Mike, what the hell happened?
A lot. I don't even know what to say. I don't think they were in a good position. I think they weren't focused. I think everything going on with the syndicate, Mr. J. Blaze, J. Alpha
No
Miller,
build.
they've been
Yeah.
saying that the syndicate's fine, but there may be some cracks there that we're not looking at.
You can't no-show and say things are fine, right? That's like me standing up my fiance at the altar for our wedding and go, hey, it's cool. Just because I'm with your sister doesn't really matter. I'll catch you around. That to me is what Mr. J. Blaze is absolutely doing to the syndicate.
So to start, April 4th, Night Owl, titles change. Like you said, the syndicate are no longer champions. Jay Shaw had a match with Quattro where the syndicate tried to take that championship back to the syndicate. Yeah, this is the fallout.
Yeah, my money was on Quattro for that match. Quattro, if you're listening or watching, and you damn well should be, you owe me lunch because I lost money on that one. And beating Bolt, winning clean over Quattro. So Quattro, you owe me lunch.
Yeah, I mean it was a good match. He is keeping that country strong style heavy in rotation at this point in time. I think that was one way, and of course this match happened prior to the syndicate losing the belts. I think that was one way where I guess they were all trying to regain power, but for whatever reason, they fell short.
Is he just distracted, you think? I'm talking about Quattro. Is he distracted with what's going on with that grown-ass man, De La Vega, with Sleepy? Is that what's going on in your opinion?
You know what? He was really distracted for a while, and I think mentally he's not all there. Funny thing is, we're seeing Sleepy go back to De La Vega, and it seems like De La Vega has control over his character. He has control over both him and Sleepy at this point in time. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I think in the midst of that transformation, Quattro's not back yet. Yeah, I think he's still off somehow.
He wasn't all there to begin with, so I can just assume that this has just put him over the edge. I'm pulling for Quattro.
It seems you have a love-hate relationship with the syndicate. It seems like you like mostly everyone there.
No, not at all. I'm fond of the syndicate except for J. Alpo Miller. You know, who's a pompous jerk, and I'd be remiss to call him a no talent bum because he has all the talent in the world. It's just unharnessed talent, And man, if his talent was as good as his mic talent and running his mouth and his trash talking, he would be a legend. I'd go ahead and put him in the Hall of Fame today.
I mean, he was the rookie of the year. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, more hats to him, man. 2024 rookie of the year. I think he was doing his thing. I think he's still doing his thing, to be honest with you.
Hell of a talent.
Yeah, him and Hakeem, um, great talent, great talent. I'm glad to.
That's a great team, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't say they're Hall and Oates, but maybe they're Beyonce and Destiny Child, with Hakeem being Beyonce, of course, and then Alpo can be whoever Beyonce sang with.
I actually like Kelly a lot better than Beyonce.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So let's talk about this real quick. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm curious to know your answer. At what point do you think they should stop saying that they're fine to syndicate?
Look, denial is not just a river that runs through Egypt. Denial is a river that runs not only through our mind, but through our souls. And any person who's ever been in a relationship, has ever been at a job, has ever been in a club, whatever that may be, you know in your heart of hearts that things are falling apart. Is it ego that keeps you from going, hey, F this, I'm out? Or F this, this is broken? Or is it something deeper where we want to fix things? And I think the syndicate knows this has been broke for a minute, but they are trying to glue the leg back on the nutcracker before Christmas at this point.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I mean, I see your point. I see the cracks. But I would be remiss to not say this. Uh, Jay Blaze is the one that put this together, right?
Genius, just an absolute
And
genius. And if there's anybody who could pull it together, it's him.
yeah, so he's very calculated. He's very manipulative. He knows exactly what he's doing at all times. It wouldn't put it past him that this was all planned out. Just
So
saying.
commotion and calamity is peace, in other words, right? So on the
Yeah,
outside, we're seeing things and giving it the illusion of falling apart, but when really it's being put back together. That's how you think what's going on with the syndicate?
yeah. I mean, look. I mean, we can go back to the name change for CCDL. It was Cuatros Casa de Lucha at one point, and now it's per Mr. J Blaze, Código de Combate de Lucha.
Right,
You know,
right.
that's all about chaos. It's all about combat and the struggle in between. So I think for him, it's necessary for the foundation to grow, for there to be combat, for there to be struggle. So, I mean, we never know. Never know.
Beauty in the struggle. I'm with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
All right.
Well, let's hope you're right.
Yeah. So let's talk about who they lost the belt to. The Van delegation. Man, they had a strong night. And I dare to say, I think their prophecy of them taking over PC and CCDL, I think it's coming true.
What a talent is Nathaniel Vanderbilt. We said this on the last podcast, and I'll shout it at the top of my lungs to anybody who will listen. If you haven't seen the young man, you need to.
Yeah. I mean, tough showing against ERC, a vet for PCW, one that has been there for some years. And him coming back and showing that he's still there, still on top of the food chain with Nathaniel. Although Nathaniel lost that match, he still put up an amazing match in that battle against ERC. And it just goes to show them, there's always a kink in the armor somewhere, and someone can find that kink. But it's all about moving and improving and using that as momentum to go forward. And that's what Van Delegation did. At the end of the night, they were tag team champions.
Ride the tide, ride the tide.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Van Delegation has been doing in PCW for quite some time.
Yeah, yeah. Ever since Turn the Page, they've been kind of calling their shots. Throughout the night at Night Owl, you saw Aaron Black get into the Dealer's Choice Championship match, which we'll get into in a few moments. And Jazz, of course, going dominant against Zach King. She was dominant in that match as well. I mean, of course, she had help, but it goes to show they did what they had to do. You know, the leader, I think, the leader in that group fell short, but they were able to bounce back through Jazz and the tag team champions.
The new edition already paying off dividends.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. All right. So we just mentioned the Dealer's Choice Championship match.
Shocking to me, Huck for a while between you, me, and our wonderful audience
Mm-hmm.
is probably my personal favorite at PCW. Right, his style just reminds me of a style that I've come to know and love. Reminds me of the new era edition of Dr. Death Steve Williams, and that's how highly I think of him.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
it
Steve
was a.
Williams could never do a fucking moonsault.
I mean, it was a great hardcore match. It was, and I mean that with every word. Of course, the match was a street fight. Um, and that match was brutal. It was brutal, and it was even made more brutal in the finish when, of course, Aaron Black cost Huckabee that match.
Yeah, I don't think he loses that fight 99 times out of 100 without some kind of interference, and that's what we got there. But hey, that's the name of the game. Live by the sword, die by the sword. You want a hardcore, no rules, no corner given. That's what
Yeah,
you get.
and he called the match. I mean, it was his choice. It was the stipulation for the Dealer's Choice Championship. You call the shots. The champion calls the shots. So I think if that stipulation wasn't placed, maybe he wouldn't have lost.
I think you're 100% right.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you're 100%.
So sometimes that veteran mindset kind of backfires.
Which brings us to the next event of the Falcon. I don't want to skip over, but a match that I'm very excited about.
Mm-hmm.
A street fight for the first time sanctioned at Falcon's Fury Harley Davidson. We're going to have ourselves a street fight, and what a better place to do it than Harley Davidson.
Yeah, it's gonna be brutal. I'm waiting to see what happens with that. Trey Shaw versus Cedric Terrell, and of course they know each other. They were former brothers. They were a part of one of the start of the faction warfares within PCW with Eastside Ronin. And it's funny enough, every member of the Eastside Ronin at this point has been dominant, um, including the last Ronin, Cedric Terrell. Um, you know, Trey Shaw has gone on now to be the two-time Dealer's Choice champion. Duncan Mitchell Apicea, who has taken a hiatus at this point in time, but he's still, you know, doing his thing. And he was the last match we saw him in a phenomenal match versus Dominic Stuckey.
Yeah.
The first Harley Davidson show. Of course, Hakeem Young, who's now part of the Syndicate tag team champion, you know, and has gone on to do great things in the
Former
tournaments we've seen.
tag team champion, sir.
Yes.
Former.
Yes, former. Yeah. Okay. I think you delight in that a little bit too much.
It was wonderful. It was
It's all good. It's all good.
music to my headphones.
So Cedric is now he's number one contender, and he's now looking for that belt.
Yeah. I just got a question from our director here. Let me try to read this. Like Devon and Bubba Ray, Jay Shaw and Trey Shaw, the any relation?
Funny question. I don't know. Let's plug that. I don't know.
Maybe not from
We
Dudleyville,
often,
maybe from Shawtown.
yeah, we often call them the Shaw Brothers.
I like it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I
So
like it.
it's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that. Yeah,
Well, I
we often
didn't.
call them that.
It was our producer.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All good, all good. But I mean, they've tagged before. I mean, they did their thing. So I mean, hey, never know, never know.
Now, Jay Shaw was tagging about a year ago.
Hmm.
Isn't that right? He was tagging with his partner, where a lot of people thought that he was a tag team specialist, and he's proved otherwise since then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was tagging for some time, and then just went on his own, started doing his own. And I think not to go back to them, but the syndicate had a plot in that because he was a mainstay in CCBL and or still is a mainstay in CCBL. And when the whole when Quattro went missing, him and Trey Shaw were the two people that were adamant about finding Quattro at that point in time. So I think, yeah, his focus has changed. He has now become, you know, a singles competitor, which no knock to him,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's doing his thing.
Yeah, definitely no hot knock to him. I've seen
Yeah,
him hit. He hits hard.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's one of the heavy hitters. Definitely, definitely.
Okay, so to recap that show in Avondale, which I was tied up. I couldn't make it. But to recap that show, in your opinion, what was by far the biggest story of the night?
For me, it's the Van delegation takeover. They really solidify exactly what they've been saying for the last few months. They're dominating not only the singles competitors, the women's division, and
Yeah,
now the tag team. I look forward to seeing Jazz face Ravana for that belt and
prediction.
to
Give me
see,
your prediction. Who we got?
man, I'm off guard here. I still want to see what Ravana has. She's heavy hitting, and I think she won the title in such a fashion that it was a surprise to the PCW audience because Rose Gold had a hold on that belt. So I know she took some time away for some family issues. I mean things that occurred. I'm all praise to her and her family. But I think when she comes back, she's come back with a vengeance.
We got a picture. We're going to show it up here. This is my tower over at Falcons Fury Harley Davidson. Let's see, we got it right up there. And as you see, it's an autographed picture from Rose Gold.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think you got one of Audrey too, right?
Yep, yep,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do, I do.
yeah,
Right
yeah,
there, right next to each other.
yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, I think as we grow this women's division, it's gonna be stacked. I think we're gonna have good talks. Right now, we're building, and even in training, I'm fortunate to be a part of that training team, and we're growing some women there as well, and they're awesome. I can't wait to see them come out and do their thing, and then kind of go from there. So can't wait for this women division, man. I can't wait for them to blow up.
The women's division of professional wrestling has always been my thing since I was a child. I remember, right? So I almost put up with the men's division, okay, which is for up until 2007, 2008, somewhere right there. Uh, despite all the talented women that have come in and out of women's wrestling was kind of second fiddle. And I know I may get in trouble for saying that, but I can back that up.
No, no,
Uh,
it definitely was.
right. And then there was a seismic change
Hmm.
when maybe we're given a little bit more credit, but this is just what had happened, is Charlotte Flair became Charlotte Flair,
Yeah.
okay? And
Yeah.
then you've moved on to today, and I'm not taking anything from the Divas division that was around, some 20 years ago, right? They really did trailblaze.
Yeah.
But women's wrestling today is bigger and hotter than it's ever been.
Yeah. Definitely. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
And I like the way that PCW is moving to put more of an emphasis on women's wrestling.
Yeah. 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 And that's one main thing that myself, our booker, the rest of the team, we're looking to grow that as much as possible. Because again, there's been a downfall of that in Georgia wrestling, and I'm seeing, especially in the last year, a lot of new faces, and they're growing and becoming greater. So I can't wait to be able to have those talent on our team working with us, and see how they grow in other promotions. Because again, for us, we're all about, you know, growing Georgia wrestling.
Yes.
So keeping a talent in our walls is not what we want to do. We want to see them grow and become greater stars so we can go on TV and look at TV and say, hey, that was our star at one point, and just be proud of them and show others how, we do things. So I can't wait to see how women's wrestling in Georgia grows. Speaking of Georgia wrestling, it's WrestleMania season, right? WrestleMania is literally 3 days away. Um, are we taking advantage of that? I know we are here
Yeah.
in Georgia. I mean, we have a show in 2 days, you know?
Right. The
I,
show of
and I,
shows.
yeah, 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 shows.
Yep.
And it's a question that, I always ask in these manners because of course we want our wrestlers to look at those big shows and the big name companies and say, hey, this is what you want to aspire to. And sometimes you don't want to aspire to that. I'll get to that in a few moments. Sometimes that's not your end goal, but to be able to see exactly how this looks, how a year-long story is built into this one moment. And that's what it is. It's what are your building towards? So the question for you, I guess, would have, are promotions that you've watched or you've seen taking advantage of this at this point in time? Or are we just running shows?
Well, okay. So that's a big question that requires a long answer. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
All
So
good.
in a perfect world, you're exactly right.
Uh-huh.
The story, the creative, is put out for a year, 2 years. Okay. It's like planning anything with their lives. It's like setting New Year's resolutions. Hey, I want to lose 30 pounds and not have heart attacks when I'm at work. Okay. How does that turn out? Okay. And I know where you're going with this. I'm a Paul Heyman guy. You're a Paul Heyman guy.
I
Okay.
am.
So when he talks
I
about
am.
having that storyline out for 1 year, two
Uh-huh.
years, three
Uh-huh.
years, that's in a perfect world. Okay. But we don't live in a perfect world. There's injuries. There's disinterest in storylines. There's disinterest in matches. Okay. Some of the best matches that I've ever seen from a technical perspective, the crowd was not in it.
Uh-huh.
I was in Mexico City at the cathedral. Okay, so a real cool thing. It was not at the cathedral. I'm mixing things up. It was in Culiacan, Sinaloa.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so the bottom seats at the time, I think, were $5, 100 pesos, $5. Okay, so that's your almost your ringside tickets. And then, pardon my English, but I believe it's the atrium, right? Which is your second level. Is that the correct term? The atrium. Okay, the atrium was reserved for, I think it was 5 pesos, 10 pesos. So we're talking 50. Is that right? Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. Just
I don't know. I don't have my calculator with me. Okay. And one thing that I learned very early on is that you don't get those ringside tickets because at some point, somebody on the bottom is going to shout up to the atrium and go, pinche pobres, which is like uh, effing poor people, right? And then the atrium responds by throwing things, batteries, whatever you can find,
um
followed by At this time, there was glass bottles, so glass Corona and Tecate. And I was watching some of these bottles hit the ground, and I go, "Oh, that's not beer. That's a little bit too warm to be ice cold beer." And they were pissing in the bottles and chucking them down below. But I mean, the crowd is into the crowd. The crowd is not into the match, and there's a loss of interest in a great match that's going on. And so when creative sees this, there's changes. Okay, I don't think anybody saw it for as long as he was NXT champion. I don't think anybody saw. Maybe not to the extent that it is. You saw it coming, but it didn't hit like it hit with Obafemi.
You know what's funny? When he first started, in my mind, I was thinking, I don't want them to play him as another giant. I
Like an
want,
unbeatable giant or like
yeah,
Omas?
like Omos. Yes,
Okay,
because I
I'm
think
with
they
you.
tried the same thing with him, and it
Yeah,
didn't work.
and with Giant Gonzalez, if you recall.
Yeah, yeah, and in this case, it kind of caught fire fast. Same with Trick Williams.
God, I
Same
didn't see
thing.
that coming. What a
I did not
talent!
see it coming at all.
What a talent!
And you know what? I don't like him that.
How about that? Uh, as a
It,
worker on the mic?
um, I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. It's I don't know what it is.
Well,
So
slow down, Michael Hayes. What's going on?
yeah, it's just eh, it's just and maybe it's just the worker in me. There's something about him that's not catching fire with, but
What are
Oba's
you
different.
talking? He is a worker.
No, I know. It's just I don't know. It's just
To
not my
me,
guy.
right? To
Yeah,
me, right?
yeah.
You're the executive, you're the professional, you're the booker, right?
Hmm.
I'm the fan. Okay. To me, he's got great mic skills. I would say right now, put him at the top 3 or 4 with mic skills. I'd put him up there with Seth Rollins. Okay. Uh, wouldn't put him up there with Cody Rhodes, but I would put him up there with Seth Rollins as far as the mic skills, right? And as a worker, top 10 worker, I could absolutely argue that he's a top 10 worker. Top 5 worker, absolutely not, but I could definitely put him in the top 10. So he's got the mic skills, he's got the charisma, he's got the look, he's got the moves at the ring. I'm very impressed with him.
Okay.
Mello, they did Mello wrong.
I
They did Mello
Yeah,
wrong. Mello can work too, and then
yeah.
he was right. He carried SmackDown for about 3 or 4 months
Yes.
after the Dragunov mistake. He carried them, and then to be left out of WrestleMania like a kid coming in from recess, that wasn't right.
And I think that's what it is. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's what it is. I think they shot Trick up, and I think Mello was better. And I think the way that Mello debuted and the way that Trick debuted was night and day. Mello debuted, he had like one match, then that was it. Trick debuted, he's already in the man of that scene. He's already up there doing things. And it's like, man, like Mello was killing it. He had
Yeah.
match after match after match after match, and it was amazing matches.
Yes.
I would say Trick matches, they were good, but they were more so multi-man matches. So he had a lot of people carrying him to that status, whereas Mello had to just put him out there.
I think if we go back and look, the important thing to watch also is the pop of the crowd.
Yes. Yes.
So Trick Williams had that pop
Yes.
from the jump. right? Melo had it, okay, as a heel. As he started becoming this quasi face and then into just being an all out baby face,
Hmm.
for me, right, that's what lost his edge. And it was at that point, there was no magic in what he did anymore.
With PCW and our thought process is land of opportunity for Georgia. Um, and and WrestleMania season is like the all out land of opportunity for wrestlers. Period.
Yeah, that's right. The
Um,
Super Bowl of wrestling.
yeah. And there's so many different things happening around WrestleMania. I mean, I can think of 5 shows happening WrestleMania weekend from
In
different companies
Vegas.
in
Vegas or
Vegas.
in Georgia?
No,
Right,
no,
in
no, in
Vegas.
Vegas. Well, I mean, in Georgia as well, but in Vegas. Yeah. So I think sometimes we forget that, you know, the story still moves on for shows, right? And for us, it was a thing of, hey, do we cancel our shows altogether this weekend? Or do we move on and just add to the story of wrestling, right?
What would be the point of canceling shows because of WrestleMania? Back long ago, many moons ago, there was Starrcade and
Hmm.
there was WrestleMania. And you could make the argument to me that WrestleMania was always bigger, and I would concede that argument.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
but it was almost like the Super Bowl for the AFL, right, or the AFL championship.
Hmm.
Joe Namath AFL, not what became later. And Starrcade was still a big weekend, not as big as WrestleMania on the theatrics.
Hmm.
Okay, you can give that promoter from Connecticut a lot of props. You can give his flowers for creating such a spectacle with that. But it's the Super Bowl of wrestling, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And all the festivities that happen around the Super Bowl, there's nothing like the Super Bowl. Don't tell me the World Series has anything to do has anything on the Super Bowl. It doesn't. Don't tell me the NBA playoffs have anything on the Super Bowl. It does not. Okay, the World Cup, okay, although a bigger event,
Uh-huh.
but has nothing on the one game that is a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you take advantage of that when people are hyped up or excited about professional wrestling, okay, and can't afford $4,000 fucking tickets? Why not give them the opportunity to, hey, you like wrestling, we are wrestling, give us a shout, give us a try.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I agree. And it's a thing of, and again, that was our main thought process. It was, why not? You know, we love wrestling as much as you do, and we want you to see WrestleMania because that's the epitome of why we do this. I
Yeah,
don't care what anyone says. WrestleMania was it for a lot of wrestling. It was, hey, I want to be there. This is what I seen when I was a kid. Starrcade, WrestleMania. I want to be there. So yes, we want to be able to see that, but we have it right here. We're
correct.
home,
Yep.
So, come on through. Come see exactly what these. Come watch these wonderful talent start their journey to move up to that spot to get there one day. Yeah. Why not? Why not?
It's something I'm really proud of your vision for putting this together. People with fans of professional wrestling get drawn in through the storyline. And a lot of independent wrestling organizations don't have that outlet to tell that story. So when you buy a ticket to an indie wrestling promotion, right, a lot of times you're going in blind. Okay. But with PCW is putting together the outlets to tell that story. So the fan can still, hey, I took a flyer on PCW, I came in and I was impressed. Or, I'm following this. I know what's going on. Okay. And the storylines in PCW and in a lot of Georgia independent wrestling organizations is riveting. It's, to be frank with you, better than some of the shit that other organization puts together.
It's one thing that I think I told you this already. I'm very big on story. Very big on why this makes sense, why we move forward, and to be able to tell these stories and watch things happen. As a fan, as a mark myself, and I don't care. I'll say it as well. I'm a mark as well. I love being able to just watch and be like, man, that was amazing. Man, that was something. Because sometimes the story itself is the match. It's the emotion, it's the faces, it's the struggle, the fight, the the will to win. It's all of that wrapped into one in those matches, and I see that in a lot of wrestlers, not just in PCW but outside of wrestling, outside of PC. When they're cutting a promo, when they're doing different things at different promotions, I see the drive, it's long lasting, and it's a lot. And I want to be able to impart that to fans, and maybe that kid that wants to be a wrestler one day and just wants to be in that little circle, just so that one day he can say when he's old enough, I want to train, I want to be just like you, because that was my dream. My dream was, hey, I want to be just like them. So, why not put something on to where you're close enough to find out, hey, how do I do this in the future?
And I don't want to spoil this, right? We'll get into this later, but there are talks, and you shared with me in private, and now I'm sharing it to everybody without your permission. There are talks going on for a summer camp, correct?
Yeah.
For youth. I'm excited about that, Mike. Which brings me to this new camera, new headphones. A shout out to Throttle Response BDC for their sponsorship. Last week we had some issues with the camera.
Yeah.
A lot of issues with the camera. We did not have a director, and like with any first time, it was very messy, and I ended up bleeding all over the sheets. So shout out to Throttle Response BDC, and again, thank you for your patronage, and thank you for everybody who's watching.
Definitely appreciate it. All right. So, with that being said, yeah, I think it's fitting that we're here. It's fitting that we're back to where we need to be, because it allows us to move forward and take a reset. Because again,
Yeah.
WrestleMania season is all about reset. It's all about moving that wheel. And for us, we're leading up to our bigger shows. Of course, our WrestleMania for PCW is in the September, October months. Then we have the big show this coming July. So we have a lot of things happening. The kids summer camp, as you announced, that's coming up, and we'll send out some communication sometime this week so we can kind of start planning that. We have the big show coming up in July. Can't wait for that. Cannot wait for that one. I'm looking forward to see how we can really make that a very, very big thing for Georgia wrestling. And then we got, Turn the Page coming up. That's a big one. And I'm seeing different things I want to see move forward, man. I can't wait. The syndicate situation, I'm waiting to see exactly what happens with that. Of course, Van Delegation, we'll see how they move forward, how they fight through, how they continue to make a mark on their destiny, which, of
Pardon
course,
the pun.
yeah. The Book of Destiny is still out there. Of course, this coming show, Dominic Stuckey has been pulling the punches. He has been really calling Skrilla out. Hard hitting stuff, man. And Skrilla the Great has not said anything yet. 2 days, I'm waiting to see exactly what happens. I'm waiting to see how that unfolds. He has one more contender left.
What's the history between the two, Skrilla and Dominic?
So of course Dominic was chasing the actual belt for some time. He had won the belt, and then some would say Skrilla kind of screwed him for that belt, and which had him going back and forth with Naja for that belt. And Skrilla has been a contender for some time. He's been owed a shot, but it seemed, I'm not gonna say this. I don't believe this is true, but it seems like Skrilla has been ducking that title shot, and he's been using it as his advantage. You know, he's been saying he's coming for the belt, but I think he's picking and choosing the time that he's going to do that. So finally, we're here after a year and a half, I believe. We're here where Dominic and Stuckey are now face to face. I'm looking forward to see exactly what happened.
Who you got?
You know, Stuckey is a fighting champion. I'll give him that. But I'm all for a calculation. I think there's a reason why Skrilla is ducking that match. I think he wanted to wait for his moment. I wanted to wait. I wanted to see. I want to believe that Skrilla has been watching what's been happening and Stuckey having to fight and claw every match because, yeah, think about it.
Sometimes twice a night.
Yeah, Skrilla has not been seen since the first Harley Davidson show. So he has been, prepping. He's been waiting. He's been chomping at the bit, that belt. And he waited until all the other contenders got their shot and lost it. The only one that's in the win now is the Book of Destiny. So wait and see.
Back to Nathaniel Vanderbilt. Again, I can't say this enough. If you haven't had a chance to check him out, check him out.
Yeah.
Stuckey as well.
Yeah.
Stuckey's quite impressive. I said it on the last podcast and got a little grief for. I still stand behind it. He is the ultimo dragon of Georgia independent wrestling.
Right now. Yeah. And honestly, I think we have some of the best talent, if not the best talent in Georgia right now.
I agree with you.
So whatever they end up on, whatever they're booked in and working, they're just elevating that show. And I can't wait to see how Georgia wrestling elevates because of these great talents.
The talent pool is full in PCW.
Yeah.
Going back, I don't want to fail to mention, but going back to the WrestleMania weekend, okay?
Yeah.
So we're doing our mini style Las Vegas here in Conyers, Georgia. Okay, so on Friday, we're very happy at the Falcon to have PC, something very dear and dear to my heart, as everyone even knows, and we're going to continue on that weekend on Saturday. On Saturday, we're going to have another event for our loyal guests and customers and Harley riders. Love to see everybody out that Friday.
Yeah.
And that Saturday. You know me, I'm a constant partier. I had a little health setback last couple of weeks ago, but we're back. We're alive, and I will be back at the helm before you could even blink your eye. But Vegas has got stuff going on. I'm following not necessarily an organization, and I'm going to say this, and you're gonna laugh because you're gonna say that's the most Medellin thing I've ever heard in my life. Not so much organizations, but individuals.
Yeah.
There is a young lady in the women's division. She's on that promotion that Vince Russo has now interjected himself in with Big Vito. Right. Her name is Paige Collette. So a shout out to Paige Collette. If Paige ever decides to come to Georgia, I will pay her booking and airfare. That's how much I think I think of her as a talent.
She might call you on that. So
Hey, you know what? My phone's right here. That there may be 3 phone calls that could occur, and that I would answer, and 2 of them are my children. So hey, if she calls and I got to step out, I just got to step out.
I got you.
But so I follow wrestlers is the point, right? And again, going back to it, Nathaniel Vanderbilt, quite the talent. If you, I'm going to say this again. I keep saying it. Let's put a counter. We'll put a counter. We'll put it right there on the screen. How many times I've mentioned this on a podcast? If you have not had the chance to watch him, you need to. Another, my love-hate relationship with the syndicate, I would be remiss not to give a shout out to the left hand job.
Oh my gosh. I'm assuming you're referring to your friend J. Alpha Miller.
No, the left hand job.
Okay.
Austin Towers, and an honest motorcyclist, a biker even, and somebody that I'm proud to call my good friend. That is quite the team of the left hand turn down, left hand.
Let's have
Re-
hat. Nah. Nah. I see where you're going there.
Anyway, it's a very difficult name for me to remember and pronounce. They will not be at the Falcon. Is that correct?
They will not be, however, Trey Shaw will.
That's right.
Yeah.
Trey Shaw is their
Dealer's
third
choice
member.
champ.
Yep. And maybe half brother for Jay Shaw.
Maybe brother.
So with this Avondale Estate card, what went well, what didn't? Talking to me from a booker perspective, from an executive perspective, what were you happy about?
I think on the booking side, I think for our booker, I think the show itself on the book side, I loved it. Of course, shout out to Brian Blaze. He is the general manager, booker for our show, and phenomenal show, amazing show. I wish I can't wait for the show to drop on YouTube. I should be happy sometime this week, but phenomenal show. For us, it's always about getting our name out there. Show wise, we're fine, but on that flip side, what we could have done right, just getting our name out there somewhere. Approaching the product. I think for us, it's always the hard part, especially when you're running multiple shows.
Yeah.
It's how do you boost this show, but also boost this show at the same time? How do you make sure that it's all out there? Especially when on a weekend where I think 7, 8 shows running at the same time in our vicinity, and it was in a 15, 20-mile radius. So it was difficult, but at the same time, it was something to where we were able to pull through. Big shout out to Night Owl and our partner there. They're really someone that's and loyalty is a big thing for us. It's always
Sure.
And dependability. They're able to kind of work with us and kind of move things forward, and they have shown us that they're partners in this. Their love for wrestling is shown through, what they're doing in our partnership. So that was amazing on that front. But I think, going back to it, marketing, getting ourselves out there some more, because I want it to be something to where people know, hey, there's a show this point in time. Hey, what are we doing tonight? Oh, we're going to PCW.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want that to be the thing.
And that was a big reason why we moved your PCW partnership with Falcons back to Friday.
Yeah.
Right. We tried it that one Saturday. It was great, but we really felt after speaking with you and you speaking with Leonard and the execs over at the Falcon that moving it back to Friday would better serve PCW fans.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we had a mainstay on Fridays for years, and the main thing for our partnership, whether it be with you, Night Owl, whatever, is of course the fans. Our main focus is the fans.
Yeah.
So we've heard, we listened, and we said, hey, let's go back to it. Let's find a way to make it work. And I'm so and again, I thank you, thank Leonard, team at Falcon Fury for just working with us. Didn't have to. Didn't have to, but you guys decided, hey, let's do it. If this works, this works.
And from an independent wrestling organization from the indies, it's also good to have a venue that doesn't act like a jerk off and try to cancel at the last minute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree.
Yep. Thank God for Falcons.
Yes, thank God. I don't. Myself. I mean, we want to see you bald and older.
Let's see what happens, right? It's one day at a time,
Of course.
like an alcoholic who's anonymous about drinking or drinks anonymously, however that goes. It's
However that goes. Yeah.
one day at a time, right? You sneak the drinks into your to rehab facility one day at a time. Doctors don't want me out and about. Doctors don't want me moving around. That's real. This is not a, like I said, I'm a fan. I sell motorcycles, so I got no reason to exaggerate it. Doctors don't want me moving around, but you know me well enough to know that Mede's going to do what Mede wants to do. So the idea, I'd love to be there Friday. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
But excited for it either way, and I'm going to be excited about talking with you after the event, and then talking with you the Monday after to hear the ins and outs of what happened.
Yeah.
But a pleasure as always.
Of course.
Till we meet again, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, hope you guys are there. If you're there, great. Not. Catch you on the next show.